they're the enemy get in their way. Okay? Now, you can wake up to this, or you can't. If you don't wake up, they're going to have their way with you. Janice, finishing up the show about the evil veterans that are the real Al-Qaeda we've now got to face.
Well, the big question that hangs in my mind is that if POWs are so bad, then why aren't they arresting John McCain, who wants 100 years of war? You know, I mean, hello. It's so ridiculous.
Well, that's because they already know they're taking all the pension funds and pay and health care from the vets, and they're going to go after the vets. It's freedom, though.
Things. And say, why are you doing this? Because she's proud of it. She's like on, you know, talking about, you know, the behind the scenes.
She's like, I know this dirty veteran's a terrorist, and he does turn out to be one, correct?
Yes.
Of course.
And he stares at the Capitol with the hoodie. You know, they always have to have hoodies.
Yeah,
on,
but he's the guy, too. You said he talks about the Constitution a lot, and you said there's an Alan Watt conspiracy type guy, right? They always have that guy.
Her boss. And he tells her not to do it. He's like, you can't do it. You can't do it. You know, it's against the Constitution. She goes, but we have to save our country.
Well, it's like all those shows where the heroes are the torturers under Bush, and then we find out they're raping small children in Abu Ghraib with giant objects dripping with battery acid, and the good old boys are like, it's of the Lord. Jesus would approve of that. And then now the Obama people are like, yeah, let's do it. Let's get tough, because the new TV ads are, Whitey's the terrorist, and we're going to get him.
Right.
So, see, for conservatives, we're going to get brown people, and they go, yeah, let's get them brown people. And then for the liberals, we're going to get Whitey. And what's the story? One lady could eat no lean, and the other guy could eat no fat, but between the two, they licked the platter clean?
Yeah, the nursery rhyme.
Yeah, I think I got it backwards, but...
yeah, something like that. It's so horrific, Alex. It is just horrific. I've never seen such horror in my life. And Claire Danes, I mean, she's always been like an okay actress. You know, I haven't disliked her, but for her to play along with something like this,
don't worry, they've got movies coming out that the flu's coming, and you're going to fight for that special vaccine. They admit the last vaccine killed a bunch of people and doubled your chances of catching the flu next time. Just search H1N1 shot, double chances of getting next flu, destroys immune system. Look up in the testing of it at one hospital. 31 homeless died from the shot. Guillain-Barré's is exploding. You go to a shopping mall and look at most little kids now. They look like they've been hit with a mutation ray. Brain degenerative diseases are off the chart. Cancer's doubled the last 10 years, and so is diabetes. But everything's good. Take those shots. Eat the GMO. Do what the government tells you. Believe the television. It's so good. We'll be right back with some good Obama supporters. Good Americans. Yeah.
Essentially, let me start from the beginning, because this is a lot of stuff. You have a real issue with the facts when there's 19 hijackers they put up on the website, and like 5 or 7 of them are still alive.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So that in and of itself grinds your story to a halt, grinds the official story to a halt.
Right.
Building 7, there's no way that building wasn't detonated. Everybody knows it. Nobody wants to talk about it except for the people who, from an architectural standpoint or an engineering point of view, just go, there's no other way this building came down. Nothing fell on it. There was not enough fire. End of story. Buildings don't fall like that. That's just stupid.
Absolutely.
From that point of view, then you have to, just on those two bases alone, the fact that the people they said that actually caused it, some of them are still alive.
Right.
That all of them are Saudi, you know, and none of them were from Afghanistan or Iraq.
Right. Why are we invading Iraq and Afghanistan?
Well, different reasons. We're invading Iraq because, you know, we set that guy up. He was one of our sort of CIA stooges for a long time.
Right.
Then he was going to monetize, he was going to change the money in the oil trade from dollars to euros. So, and at the talk of that, the euro went from 61 cents to over $1, and then we went into Iraq like that.
Right.
Afghanistan, similar problems, except for, you know, there's a natural gas pipeline they're going to put through there. There's an oil pipeline, and there's gold in the hills. Nobody talks about that, but there's gold, those Tora Bora hills where they're always saying, why don't we just nuke that whole area? Well, because there's a lot of gold in there, and we know it, and that's what we're in there getting out right now.
And there, of course, there's the opium trade that we're also...
Right. But that's... Quite frankly, that's the fast...
microphone.
Yeah, that's quite frankly the fast food element of it. The drug trade is the least of it. And considering that without that money, it wouldn't prop up our entire government half the time. Drug money actually saved this country largely during the crash. I mean, there was an exchange of like $500 million that was constantly shifting through. It was all drug money, and everybody knew it, and they just kind of took a back seat. Less enforcement, because without it, that money would have yanked some banks dead.
Right,
so anyways, you've got all that stuff going on. You have a responsibility, I think, to at least look deeper. You don't have to go all the way down the rabbit hole with some people. You also can't stick your head in the sand and act like it's going to work. So, other than that, I have no opinion.
Right on, man.
We now take you live
to the Central Texas Command Center
in the heart of the resistance. You're listening to The Alex Jones Show.
All right, for the rest of the hour, Jaron has landed us quite the guest today. I mean, as big as Greg Kinnear or bigger. We've got Hal Sparks, you name it, every TV show on the planet, host of Talk Soup for 2 years, CSI Crime Scene Investigation, Las Vegas, Celebrity Paranormal Project. I mean, it goes on for 10 hours. Hal Sparks has got his Charmageddon stand-up special coming.
It's out now. It's on. You can buy it on Amazon if you so choose.
Awesome.
You know, or stream it or whatever.
And a Dallas radio host who I've been on his show many times, Richard Hunter. Mm-hmm. And it's richardhuntershow.com.
Yes.
Of course, halsparks.com is the website for Hal, who I called Richard earlier, even though I know they both are. You guys look a lot alike, minus the long hair.
It's true.
Yeah.
A little bit.
And at times he's had the same hair.
It's true. Yeah. It's true. Yeah, I used to have long hair. I only cut it so they wouldn't keep getting us mixed up.
Yeah.
That looks like a cross between Nikki Sixx and Al-Qaeda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what landed me on the watch list and VH1's all-time metal bassist.
I always think it's funny when TSA pulls aside anybody who looks alternative lifestyle-y, like tattoos or whatever, because those folks are the least threat out there. I mean, white guy in khakis, I'm worried about because he may have nothing to live for and decide to kill himself and take a bunch of people with him just because he wants to be famous. There's a lot of those guys in history. But the guy with a lot of tattoos has sex to have where he's going, has drugs to do. He's not going to kill anybody on the plane. He wants to get where he's going to do the damage. He's not going to die midair. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
Theoretically.
Very Al-Qaeda-ish.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, tell us why you are here in the illustrious city of Austin.
Well, we're Cap City Comedy this weekend, brightening the lives of groups of 300 or more at a time.
Tonight through Saturday.
Yeah.
CapCityComedy.com for tickets.
Yes.
That's a nice place.
It is. It's great. It looks a bit like the top part of a roller rink where they serve the nachos. You ever go to a roller rink and they have that really thin carpet and, and easy to clean, that kind of stuff. The club looks like that part of the,
It's actually very palatial.
Well, it's got the weird iron structure that looks like two rewind and fast forward buttons attached to it. I don't know what the design thought was. I think it was just there and they built around it.
It basically looks like a refabbed cruise ship from the 1980s.
Sure, or a strip club now. Yeah, without, obviously a different form of entertainment.
I did some stand-up there once, almost caused a riot.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Is this the infamous Doug Stanhope opener? Oh, yeah, that's where that was.
There were some troops in the front row, and they didn't like me talking about Gulf of Tonkin being staged. And they said, we're going to kick your butt. And I said, get on up here. I'm going to stomp all three of you. Mm-hmm. And whether or not I was going to win the fight, I was ready to go. They backed off.
Sure.
It was a good thing because I'm actually a coward.
Yeah, well,
it was all a complete hoax.
Bluff, yeah.
It was bluff.
That's okay. You have a great voice for bluffing.
Exactly.
You do. You got that kind of voice. If you have, if you're like, anybody who wants to come up here, I will take everybody on. They would have come. They would have brought it. But since you were up there going, anybody who wants to, they'll.
Truth is, I had a diaper on and was like scared and
crapping yourself. Yes, right. I totally understand. That may be happening right now. I mean,
all right, I get bad when I get around comedians. I apologize to the family audience. We're going to stop right there.
That's right,
or start right there.
Before I get into to 9/11 Truth and both your views on that, we just played a clip of Hal Sparks talking about that a moment. Let's get Richard Hunter's take on it. I want to talk about Lord Obama, the second coming. They said he actually could be the Christ. They compared him to Christ in the news.
Who did that?
It's in my film, The Obama Deception. Mainstream news saying that he was being compared to Christ.
Right.
He was going to give us free houses, free cars, fix everything. Now he says that his Treasury Secretary that it's going to be the most painful thing in our lives and last for a long time. That doesn't sound too good. Are you guys happy as Obama supporters about the peace action in Libya? Or about them putting even more Muslim extremists in when they kicked Mubarak out in Egypt? Are you happy about the expansion of wars and torture? I mean, love, peace. I mean, what's your view on Lord Obama? Or would that be heresy if you talk bad about him? Because you're both smart guys. I mean, you have courage. Hal talking about the 9/11 issue.
Absolutely. I actually think insofar as politics in modern America and in any major advanced society, you're going to at least have to build some walls before you put the roof on. And I think a lot of times, policy-wise, we look for the roof first. especially on the progressive side, and we get ahead of ourselves, and then we don't accomplish anything. And I think conservatives over time have taken on a freeze America at a point in history that is anti-woman, anti-minority, anti-equality, really, and they're comfortable with that.
Women are doing real good right now.
Well,
their breast cancer is off the charts.
Compared to,
those vaccines are really helping. So is the birth control. Of course, they know it really increases the breast cancer, but don't worry, under health care, they're going to give it to them free.
Plasticizing agents in drinking water, one of the big reasons why people have an increased amount of breast cancer in their system.
That's a big one.
Yeah. And
it hyper-feminizes women and feminizes men.
And the movement against clean drinking water since the 1970s has actually driven more people to drink bottled water. And that over time has led to a raise in that. The paranoia about drinking your own tap water that is honest to some degree. I don't know if it's related directly to the fluoride aspect of things, but the fact is that the anti-government kind of we're not all in this together group has been really against purifying the drinking water, making sure it's actually clean. So there's all these mitigators in the middle trying to keep you from being able to clean your water. So everybody's like, oh, there's shit in the tap water.
Hold on.
Sorry, there's crap in the tap water. Beg your pardon. Bing.
Yeah, guys, we can't do that anymore because I have to delay it and they can miss it.
No problem. There's too much garbage in the tap water. Therefore, it's better to drink bottled water. And that movement towards fear and towards bottled water has actually led to the higher cancer rates in a lot of ways.
Now, see, Hal, I'm going to be honest with you. That is completely insane what you just said.
So
it is on record that sodium. No, I'm not debating bisphenol A. I know.
Right.
I was called a conspiracy theorist 10 years ago for talking about it. I'm not debating. It's mainly the stuff you microwave. It's in the other plastic containers. It's in everything.
But everything's
in the liners of tin cans.
Stored in the sun.
But what I'm telling you is, because one thing's bad doesn't mean the other thing's good. What I'm saying is, it's on record.
And vice versa.
Do you know what sodium fluoride does to you?
Yeah, believe me, I'm not a pro-fluoride guy. I'm saying that actually should be out of there.
Sevenfold increase in bone cancer.
Absolutely. What I'm saying is there was a movement in the 1970s where they're like, H2O. We need to clean the water as much as we can, just base water. No fluoride, no nothing.
I agree.
And that got hammered largely by what became the Reagan base in the 80s to a move towards, government should be out of the water business altogether. And private industry moved in and started taking over utilities in mass in the 80s.
And then you get toilet to tap. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then so people, in fear of that, went to plastic bottled water, and then the cancer rate spiked directly related to that. So, yes, I'm anti-fluoride, and I don't think there should be anything in water but H2O. That you should come out of your tap as pure as possible. The problem is this idea that hands off, no EPA, I don't want anybody, no government bureaucrat.
Wait a minute, it's the EPA that wants the fluoride in there.
Well, no, I'm that now, but there was a movement in the 70s for the EPA to be very pure. But here's the thing, you can't say an organization in government is bad inherently because it's been staffed by people who hate it to start with.
Well, let me stop you right there.
Like Scott Brown in charge
You're all
of FEMA.
liberal conservative. I'm way past all that. I see what you're saying. Over 90%.
Does it not have worth?
Over 90% of the EPA scientists in 2000, 2005, and then again last year wrote letters to their bosses saying, take the fluoride, take the other toxins out of the water. This is bad. I know there were good people in government. I know there's a lot of good people in government.
Okay.
But they're compartmentalized. It's the directors on top that are the eugenicists.
Because and the committee chairmen who make sure that's who gets to the top of the organization. The problem is when you have guys who are essentially inherently anti-government, they have no impetus for a system to actually work to the benefit of the people. And when you have a profit-based psychology in both business and in government, you have only a monetary view of what profit totally is.
It's more than that. It's crony. It's insiders run the system.
That's what I mean.
It's not
Those
free
guys
market.
think in terms of cash profit. And the profit of a country, the profit that comes off the top, what's beyond what a country takes in profit as its business.
You're talking about short term.
No, I'm talking long term.
No, I mean, they're doing short term looting.
About cash. I'm talking about the health and happiness of the American people is the actual profit you make from your industry. What we look at is we have business government industry. It takes my taxes and it doesn't, and it's always running at a deficit. And on a cash level, this is what we're saying it's based on. We're saying like FEMA or the EPA or any of these groups, they're taking my tax dollars and I don't know where it's going and I don't want any benefit from it. I don't see any benefit from it because it's taking my money and not going anywhere. The benefit comes from the health and happiness of the American people. The problem is...
Hey, I agree with you. Government makes the sun shine. Hal Sparks is our guest, Richard Hunter. We're going to come back after break. I know they make the grass grow. I got it. Well, we've got radio talk show host Richard Hunter in here, also comedian, and we've got Hal Sparks, who's been on every TV show in the galaxy, but I think the biggest one is Talk Soup. That's actually a show I've watched.